Ladies and gents, welcome back. I'm in another place today, and I'm joined by a friendly guest, a good friend of mine here, Derek Smith. Welcome to your show.
Yeah.
Well, this is my show. It's my show, but it's in Derek's place. I'm on the road. I'm hanging out with Derek, and here, let's have the little side by side to get it a little bit more close in person. So I decided, my family decided to pick up. Derek was hospitable enough to put us up for the weekend, the extended weekend, so we can check out the Calgary Stampede, which we've never seen before in our lives, and we're really excited for this. So I brought the show on the road, and we're going to be doing this live tonight. So don't forget to tune in. We'll be it's the usual live time, so 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific.
Yep.
Depending on where you are, check your local time zones. But this is what we'll be doing this evening live, and be tuning in for that. But today we're gonna be talking about a couple of news stories in the meantime, and well, this is great, and I've been reporting on this for months now, this bill C-18, and how it's been exploding and imploding on the federal government for basically short-sighted implementation of internet censorship, for lack of a better term here. Ottawa suspends advertising on Facebook, Instagram, as Meta promises to block the news. Canadian news, that is. And not all Canadian news, right, Derek?
Yeah. Just the ones that that tell the truth.
Just the ones that tell the truth. Well, no, okay, so the legislation, the way it works is the legislation was trying to pick winners and losers. And what they were trying to say is that the ones that they want to be certified news sources are going to be the ones that are the news in Canada. Right. And well, how are they going
license?
Well, that's it. And how are they going to implement this? Well, they're going to implement this by telling the social media companies that, hey, if you want to put links on these for your websites, you're gonna have to pay them. And it was completely backwards. This is a perfect illustration of how the Trudeau government does not understand how incentives work. They don't understand how economies work, and they don't understand how business works. Now, moving forward on this, we have this is the carbon tax stuff. So we're gonna get back to that.
So what you're saying is the government's going pay to play.
Pay to play.
So it's like,
but it's the wrong way around.
EA.
Well, it's the wrong way around. It's really funny. So, I mean, pay to play would be one way to do it,
right?
And that's how social media companies really do typically work,
right?
But the government telling the media companies that they have to pay for the links to be on their websites.
So,
I mean, there's a simple solution:
government microtransactions to report the news.
Well, yeah, okay. So there was a simple solution for them, and the way that they went with this was, well, we don't want to pay. We don't want to pay this money to the Canadian government, so we're just going to block. We're going to block your websites.
Get out.
That's it. And this is great because independent sources, if you watch channels like mine or Derek's, or you pay attention to independent news.
And if you're not, you're missing out.
Well, yeah, and if you pay attention to independent news, like say, for example, Rebel News or True North or the Western Standard,
yep.
There's a bunch of them, and I'm gonna get tons of people in the comments saying like, you forgot this one.
You forgot Viva.
Yeah, well, Viva's like just
I guess
like
he's
us.
American now.
Well, he's just like us. He's commentators, but this is the thing. They're going to be the only ones affected by the big conglomerates are going to be the only ones affected by this, and not us independents.
Right.
So we're not really worried about this. So Pablo Rodriguez put out a tweet here saying, we decided to take the necessary step of suggesting all government of Canada advertising to suspending all government advertising on Facebook. We cannot continue to give advertising dollars to Meta while they refuse to pay their fair share to Canadian news organizations. Now, I mean, it's not really a fair share. It's a regulatory body trying to push a tax, essentially a link tax on these big social media companies. Now, my prediction was that they were just going to block the links. Of course, this is what they did.
Right.
At the end of the day. But so Google and Facebook have a stake in this, and their stake is if they are to comply with this, then every country in the world is going to also give heed to this type of legislation.
Yeah, it only takes one.
Well, seriously, honestly, at this point, if Google were to bend the knee or Meta were to bend the knee, we're about 10% of the demographic of the United States of America.
That opens the floodgates, though.
So Rodriguez, in a previous article, had claimed that $300 million would be earned over this period of time through this tax. So if that were true and accurate, then the United States would be able to pull $3 billion by that standard, and then every nation, of course, would just make the companies insolvent overnight. Now, Pablo Rodriguez had a statement to say. Here's a clip from True North on Twitter, and I'll just let it play.
The platforms don't have any obligations under the Act, none. And despite this, Facebook has
well, they do have an obligation. I'm sorry to interrupt. They have the obligation of paying a tax on the links. They don't at the moment, not yet, but they're doing so in compliance to the Act ahead of time before this all happens. So they haven't even had a chance to regulate it or have the regulators actually implement this. They just said, no, it's unworkable, they said. Anyway, probably
decided to be unreasonable, irresponsible, and started blocking news. This is why today we are announcing the government of Canada will be suspending advertising on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, what a threat.
And this is exactly what Canadians are expecting.
Oh, no.
So today we're calling on both platforms to stay at the table, work through the regulatory process with us, contribute their fair share, and keep news on their platforms. It's good for the platforms, good for news in Canada, good for Canadians, good for our democracy.
I would say that what they're doing is good for Canadians. It's good for democracy.
I mean, what are we going to do without all that government funding advertising on our social media platforms?
Well, that's it. If we're not going to have the propaganda, I mean, what are Canadians going to learn about?
We won't know about climate change. All that climate change information will be gone.
So Trudeau was asked about this as well. So we're going to show a little clip of Trudeau and what he had to say here.
Suspended all advertising. How far will your government go in taking on a company like Meta? What could be next?
This is not just a dispute over advertising, it's also a dispute over democracy. It's a question of recognizing the role that internet giants like Facebook, Meta, Google, and others have in our lives, and therefore a responsibility that they also wield. As we've said, we're continuing constructive conversations with Google. Unfortunately, Facebook has just...
Well, there's no constructive conversation with Google. Google has said openly that this legislation is unworkable. Yeah. They just said, that's it. We're going to have to block the contributors until that's that.
You can tell by the tone of his voice he's really upset by this, because it's similar to his "you don't want to get on a train or a plane with those people" speech, where he's just he knows he's losing and he doesn't know how to answer this reporter without getting seriously upset. Kind of like we're at historic record lows, Glenn.
Oh, with the interest rates.
You can tell he's miffed. He's mad.
Yeah, he's definitely frustrated because they're not just going along with the legislation that they put
They don't want to play ball with me.
Refused to recognize any sort of responsibility it might have in contributing to a democracy that has, democracies in general that have contributed to its success as a company, as a corporation.
It's a business. I mean,
look at that frustration.
Okay. Do they have a duty to democracy, or are they a business? What is it? It's hard to know what he's getting at here.
Poor Skippy.
I mean, okay, so it's a democracy. It's a business. It depends on where the moment in Trudeau's eyes. I mean, he clearly he cares about what he wants to push and the agendas that he wants to push.
That's when you say it's a democracy or it's a business. It's whatever he wants it to be at the minute that it's convenient for him.
Exactly. So he contradicts himself several times over this. It's crazy.
So we're not backing down on this. This goes to the core of a free and informed society that is able to take responsible decisions in a democracy. Citizens need to have access to quality local news, to quality content, to quality journalism that is properly paid. And the fact that the media...
Well, first off, don't limit that then. Don't say in the bill that only certain news outlets are reputable sources and you can only go through them. And then on top of that, say that social media platforms need to pay them. That's not democracy. That's not a free market in this. It's so funny. He's off to the races, and he's left his horse.
But
behind.
again, if they're not going to advertise on social media, and he's talking about people having access to the best news, well, we're going to get it now. So win-win.
Yeah, it's a win.
Sorry, that Facebook doesn't want to recognize the hard work of professional journalists across the country is something that undermines the very fabric of our democracy at a time where we're seeing democracy backslide around the world.
Oh, he's going on with the backslide again. So he's saying that people need to get paid for their job for what they do.
Right.
But you can't just legislate payment into place. The whole point of the social media companies is they give you an opportunity to push forward and present your platform to other people.
Yeah.
And if people like it and they click on it and they come over, then they'll watch it and then they'll get money through their advertisements.
It's kind of like that old song that says, "The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I want money."
No, that's what they want.
That's all I
money.
want.
That's what they want. But they shot themselves in the foot on this one. It's just too funny.
Canada and allies around the world are going to stand strong and demonstrate that we will not flinch in our defense of fundamental, foundational principles to democracy, like a free, quality, informed press.
Well, it's not very free. It's not very free if it's regulated all too crap. So I want to end this here. Tune in tonight. We're going to talk more about some of these other stories, like the carbon tax having this unequal distribution to places like Quebec. It's very angering to a lot of people. But we'll be talking about that stuff tonight. Tune in to the live stream it'll be 9:30 Eastern time, 6:30 Pacific. If you're in Alberta, you can catch it at 7:30.
7:30.
That's the time, local
Giddy
time
up.
here. Don't forget that we'll also be at Yuck Yucks on Sunday to see Uncle Hack of the Danger Cats. We're gonna be checking that out. So if you're in the neighborhood, I don't believe it's sold out just yet. So
It's getting there.
Check out the schedule
Get in there.
online.
Get your seats, folks.
We will be there in person. So if you want to come
Bring a
hang
case of
out with
beer.
us, or if you want to see good comedy with Uncle Hack, come check that out. But tune in tonight for the live stream, and we'll be doing this again from the arcade here at Derek's house. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, me too. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. So we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.